I call this Haslet's HCEDC Type B meeting to order at 6 o'clock. The quorum is present. As agenda item 1, agenda item 2, citizens participate in comments. We'd like to recognize Ms. Sandra Smith.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Smith. I live at 300 Gamble Street, right back here in Old Town. And really, I'm just here tonight just for an informational reason. You guys, I watch your agendas, I watch your meetings, and y'all have leased properties that you have taken care of for quite some time. And one property in particular, 120 Main, which is the residential property that you guys own, for several years now at the appraisal district, this is not anything you have any control over per se, but that property is used as a comparable property against mine here in Old Town. Highly unusual to have a city-owned property, valuated against a residential property, but that one has been for me. I did not know if y'all were aware of that. When you look after condition, when you make, when you go forward as to what you're going to do with it, sell it, keep it leased. I mean, that's y'all's deal. But I wasn't sure that you knew that that's actually happening. That there are people in residential homes here in Old Town that have that property used as a valuation. Now, what's fascinating about that is my property has diminished in value, while that property has more than doubled since 2016. Any of you for your home can go to the appraisal district and ask for the comparables that are used to come up with that valuation. It's a computerized valuation. They pull sales comps, they pull equity comps. This one in particular is used as an equity comp against mine. Now, I'm one of those rare individuals who I want my property evaluated correctly. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I've had some personal involvement in lawsuits, in my personal life where the valuation played a critical role. A lot of people don't think it matters. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. You talk to realtors, it doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. It matters in court cases especially. So, just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that going forward as you make decisions related to that property. And especially to know that my valuation has diminished, gone down 30%, while that property in the same time period has gone up about 150%. I'm not even going to talk to the situation that household, because it's a residence. I don't know what it's doing in a Type B economic development situation. It's not a Type B property. If you look at the Tarrant County records, it reflects as a residential single-family home. So I just wanted you guys to have all the information. Don't know if you knew that. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you knew, I apologize. But I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's a fair situation because that is a single-family residence. And I don't know that Type B as a whole, this is no indictment on any member or chairperson or past chairperson of this committee because you guys are all volunteers. But I don't know why that property has been held on to. And I don't know why money hasn't been put into it to improve it. But it has directly impacted me. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 3, items of community interest. Tuesday, October 4th will be the National Night Out at the Hazlet Community Park from 6 to 8. There's a flyer for it. The Hazlet Hustle 5K was canceled on from Saturday, October 29th, due to Haslet Parkway and Schoolhouse Road construction. Saturday, October 29th, the Haslet Volunteer Fire Department's Haunted Hayride fundraiser is from 7 to 10 p.m. And there's the flyer for it. And Hazlet is hiring. The city has the following positions posted: Code Enforcement Officer, IT Specialist, Parks and Grounds Crew Leader, Parks and Grounds Maintenance Worker, Staff Accountant, Water Maintenance Worker 1, Water Maintenance Worker 2. If you're interested, please visit the employment opportunities to apply. Was I supposed to have another one on this agenda item? Okay. Ah, I found it. No, I didn't. Never mind. Discuss, consider, and act to approve the meeting minutes. Item 4.1 for the August meeting minutes. Does anybody have any comment on it?
I move that we approve the August 17, 2022 regular meeting minutes as presented.
I second.
We'll put it to a vote. And that's unanimous. Moving on to the September 2022 minutes. Is there discussion? I'll entertain.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 1st special meeting. Is that right? September 1st? As they're written.
And I second.
Put it to a vote. Unanimous. Moving on to item 5, discuss, consider, and act regarding the financial statement. Mr. Swanky, do you have an update for us?
Everything is basically the same as last month. No particular items have changed. I will note that the new budget's getting ready to start, though.
Do we have any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the August 22 financial reports.
I second.
On the bond debt service page, where it lists the outstanding bond and the payments against the bond, is there anyone that can explain how to read this report?
Yeah, this particular comes from our finance director, and he is not here tonight. So the answer for me is no.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll put it to a vote. Unanimous. Sorry. Discuss, consider, and act regarding all properties and property management reports. I'm not aware of any, and Kathleen is not here to give us a report from that. We don't need a motion for this, right, Trina? Okay. So, moving on to reports and presentations. Economic Development Report, September 22nd, or 2022. Mr. Swanky.
Yes. Thank you. Going down through the report, there's no new activity as far as contacts on 35. However, there is a lot of construction going on. For the most part, all 4 lanes have been poured on Haslet Parkway, and so that's a really exciting news. That'll really start opening up an area of town. And the Mai Tai contract is still being reviewed. And, remember last meeting we had a lot of discussion with Dustin Trevino. He has withdrawn, and he has decided not to pursue doing anything right now. So we are not. The final thing under miscellaneous is we've been working really diligently, the staff has, on the new master land use plan, which we want to present to you tonight as the next agenda item.
Okay, let's move on to that. Does anybody have any commentary on the,
Yes, Mr. Swanky, I'd like to ask a question. I know it's taking a little bit of time for a contract to be set up with the ISI restaurant. Are they continuing to pay a lease payment to the city while that's going on? I think I noticed from the report, the last payment we got was probably back. They're not. Okay. They're not obligated to do that while this process is being worked out.
I'm not privy to that information, but that's something I can definitely look into for you.
Just a question. I noticed it hadn't been paid, and it's just a question that.
Kathleen had mentioned, since we are the ones who have not yet responded to them on the contract, she wasn't going to pursue that.
so moving on to item 7.2, presentation and discussion of the master land use plan.
This conference will now be recorded.
There you go. It's on the screen now. We're trying out new systems today, and fortunately, I have the ability to control what's going on the screen from now on. So, we presented the 2022 Master Land Use Plan to the Planning and Zoning Commission last night, and previous to that, we had a work session with the council and the Planning and Zoning Commission, a joint committee meeting, and we had a rather lengthy meeting last night. We were talking for about 3 hours, but it was recommended for approval. And I really wanted to just make sure, since this is a document that's really critical to economic development, because it's going to be the pathway forward for a few years. So it's a very important document for the city, also for the EDCs. And this little chart I put together, it basically outlines the processes. The Master Land Use Plan is the key document to a comprehensive plan. And there's a lot of documents that make up that plan. The zoning map is part of it, the water plan, the sewer master plan, the master thoroughfare plan, and also park plans, the trail plans, and public facility plans. But all together, they make up the comprehensive plan. Currently, the 2016 plan only basically has a master land use plan associated with it and some other maps that are extremely out of date and very unusable. But all these together make up the comprehensive plan. And from that, we have 3 implementation tools. One of them is the zoning ordinance, the subdivision ordinance, and the capital and open improvement plan. And This board actually plays an important part on that capital improvement plan as far as funding a lot of projects. So it's really a key document for the city and also for almost all the boards, whether it's the park board, the planning and zoning commission, and the two EDC boards. One of the things we did is we tried to bring reality into the comprehensive plan. The zoning map is a critical part of that. There are vast areas that are zoned as industrial land, sort of the dark colored that you see on the map. But on the future land use plan that we currently have, the 2016, it shows up as residential. And that's problematic for several reasons. First off, it's not matching what reality is. Those people that own that industrial land are not going to rezone it to single family. It also plays an impact on the water and sewer plans, because if it's zoned residential, it has a higher impact on the usage of water and sewerage, and the numbers that the engineers have to go by are the numbers that are on the future land use plan, the comprehensive plan, the master land use plan, whatever you want to call it, and they size their lines accordingly. That's under Chapter 395 of the Local Government Code. You have to have land use assumptions, and then you base your plans on it. Well, according to the plans we have now, all the water and sewer lines have to be way oversized to serve single-family residential, but the property is actually zoned industrial. And so that's really a problem to the city, because if you size the lines according to the existing plan, all the lines are way oversized, and it doubles and sometimes triples the cost of the facilities, the underground facilities. And that's not a good idea. The map on the right are areas that we have actually ultimate control of. The green areas are areas that are inside the city limits but are zoned agricultural, which means they have not received permanent zoning of any type. So as people come in and they make requests in this area, we would like for it to match up with the comprehensive plan. The areas in purple are areas that are in our extraterritorial jurisdiction. We have subdivision control out in those areas, but no land use control. However, in those areas, we cannot provide sewer service. So in a way, we do have some control. If there's a housing development that wants to develop, lots less than a half acre, they can't do it because they have no sewerage system. And so, if they come into the city, we have some wiggle room there to help adjust those lot sizes. There's some other areas that in town where we really took a hard look at, and we actually married up with the comprehensive plan, the existing one. I'm going to put a marker on the back over here. There's Blue Mound Hill right here. That's an area that's shown as a future park in the 2016, and we agree with it. That hill has significant historical significance, and we want to recognize that, and perhaps in the future, purchase that as a park and maybe some kind of recreational area. There's an area that's in the middle of this, which is a big red area. We have some plans that we've developed, some conceptual plans. It's nothing that's hard and fast, but we think it makes sense for the long-term economic development engine of the city. And we're going to show you a couple drawings that relate to that. The other area, which is in the northern part, which includes the town area here, the old town. In the 2016 plan, it changed the potential uses of that to more commercial mixed-use development. So like in the old town core, you can't even build a single-family home in these older lots that are in town. And there is really, right now, a lot of people who want to build in the old downtown area a new house. They can't do it. And so we're actually going back before what the 2016 plan showed and going back to residential and with some sort of unique housing in comparison to the rest of the city. The map on the right is some areas where were actually, most of them were identified in the 2016 plan as problem areas. And I'm just going to run through them and point them out here. The one on the southwest corner of town is John Day Road. I like to call it John Day Raceway because it's a straight shot right now. It's an asphalt road, but it's not built to city standards. That area is in our extraterritorial jurisdiction, and we have the ability to change that. And so when they come in and really do a final development on that, they would have to move the road, rebuild it in a fashion that that would better suit the city and hopefully slow the traffic down. Another key area is up here in the middle of where Schoolhouse Road. We're showing it joining up with State Highway 156 south of Westport Parkway. So it would not continue where it does today up to Westport Parkway, but it would turn to the left as you're going north and tie in south of the bridge. There's several reasons for that. For one thing, this is a horrible intersection out here where you have two intersections right next to each other, and Schoolhouse Road is used as a cutoff for 156 to avoid the other intersection at 156 and Westport/Main. And so what they're doing is actually compounding a problem by cutting through and turning there. Not only that, if you sit around here long enough, you're going to see semis making a left-hand turn, 18-wheelers down on the Schoolhouse Road, and what they do is in front of the Lee's old building, they're making U-turns right there. And so it really causes a problem. And we think we have a solution to that, and our solution is to not let that road continue on and make it go over to 156, and then they go through that intersection, and if they want to make a right, they can. But keep the big trucks off the smaller roads and keep them on where they're supposed to be. Another item is up here on the far north where Keller Hazlet Road exists, and it comes down and turns into Main Street. If you're ever out here at City Hall between 3 and 5, or in the morning between 7:30 to 9, you can't even hardly walk across the street. There's so many cars. None of these cars are from Hazlet. They're all coming from Sendera Ranch. But we think we have a solution for that, and we've put it on the plan, and that is to make that corner up there where I'm showing that north yellow dot a place where you cannot, coming from Sendera Ranch, turn right onto Main Street. Likewise, as you're going north, you can't turn left. So if you want to go, from Sendera Ranch out to 156, you'll need to go straight out to 156 on Keller Hazlet Road. And that's a road that's in the process of being planned, designed at this time, and the funding is in place to build it. And so that is something that's going to come to reality. But the plans, and we've talked with our engineers, and they know that intersection is a place where we do not want the ability for that traffic to turn into Hazlet. And then when we get that all under control, you'll not see the traffic out here like you do now. All that pass-through traffic coming down Westport and going west through town will stop. A couple other areas of concern are over here on Westport Parkway and Harmon Road. If you've ever gone north on Harmon Road, it's a dead-end thoroughfare into a place where there's a severe downhill and a curve, and with very, very poor visibility. And it's somewhat of a dangerous area. But we're looking at continuing Heritage Parkway from the north, coming down south and continuing it south, which would turn into Harmon Road through the city. That does several things. First, from an economic development standpoint, retail developers want circulation around retail areas. And that gives us several points of circulation. It gives us this circle right here, then another circle right here, another one down here. And retail developers like that. So that will be really an attraction and an improvement to the thoroughfare plan. And also, it wouldn't be a dead end. But there is one dead end that we're proposing and an offset, and that is where Blue Mound Road down on the south end of town, we're showing a jog into it. and that is to get traffic passing through over towards Fort Worth off Blue Mound Road. We want to make it more difficult for them. We want that to be more local traffic rather than all the through traffic that we're experiencing. When you throw all these things together, you know, you have your zoning on the left, you have those other tracks on the right that we're looking at, you have the infrastructure in the roads on the southwest corner of the map up there, and then all the area in the ETJ and the agricultural zoning, and you throw all those things together and you put in the thoroughfares where they're actually being built. You come up with a future land use plan, master land use plan, which we're showing here. And we're showing revised trails, some other areas of parkland, and we think it's a much better plan than what we have right now. And that's what's been approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission, recommended for approval. And I'm really ready to answer any questions that you might have, but before I do that, I just want to show you a couple of concepts that we drew up for the area between Schoolhouse Road and State Highway 156. And there's two different scenarios. The first one is existing conditions where we have the elevated road that you can't access. And so this development is oriented inwardly. The buildings all face towards the inside rather than to the outside, like you'd rather see a lot of other commercial areas. But that's not an uncommon situation. You go over to areas like McKinney, where El Dorado Parkway and 75 intersect, you have exactly the same thing, and they're very attractive, except you just can't access it from the ramps. And also we're showing a trail system that goes up. The tap system would be changed a little bit to go into the site and follow a series of ponds that could be dug out, and the dirt there could be used for fill dirt in the green areas beside it, you know, so you can match that up. So you take that, what is a problem area, and you can turn it into an asset, and that's what we're trying to do, and actually get more developable land out of that. We're not rezoning this. We're just saying this is a potential concept for that area, a new economic engine for the city. There's another drawing that we prepared, and this is where, you know, if TxDOT gets on the stick and they improve 156 faster, then it could be a surface road. They're planning on, the plans are to bring that down to the surface instead of having an elevated section. And if you do that, you can narrow up the right-of-ways and you can access directly and face on to 156 and have a viable product. Either way, it works as a commercial area. And this is just to show a concept of potentially what, you know, can be done for that area. In the past, and I'm going to step here so I can show you.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
Sometime back, before we even started working on that, the new 170 Haslet Parkway thing, we were discussing the infrastructure necessary to put businesses out on the 135
Mhm.
frontage. Where is that at with the city right now? Is there infrastructure out there?
There's a little bit of infrastructure, but not enough. And that's one of the things our engineers, when we get this plan all done, they can plan that area for the whole city, including that area, as far as what we need for capacity. Line sizes, water line sizes, and then we'll know. So it's really a hard question to answer, because we don't know yet until we have a plan that's been approved that they can work from. And I'm just going to run back. This is not really in the presentation, but it's something that we showed last night. Some problems with the current plan. There's all different kinds of land uses that just don't match up to zoning, and I've tried to point a lot of those things out, as well as the thoroughfares. All those things are thoroughfare changes that need to be made, or things that are happening they're just wrong on the old plan. And it's really right now it's a tool we can't really use. And it's one of the things when developers they look at a city, the first thing they want to do is they want to pull up a map that first off shows what's really happening and what we're anticipating for the future. And what we have now just doesn't do it. And so that's why we went ahead and prepared a master land use plan. Like I mentioned earlier, that is a starting point for this whole process. The engineers, they're chomping at the bits right now to start working on the sewer master plan and the water master plan.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Swanky? I don't believe we need anything other than this was informational, right?
This is all informational.
Okay. Going back to number 3, we have a item of community interest. I'm going to turn the floor over to Katrina.
No, Mike, we can't hear.
Katrina. Trish said what's happening, she can't hear.
Okay, in presentation to Randall Garner for his membership from 2004 to 2022, and chairman of this board from 2017 to 2022. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We do thank you for your service over a very long time. Okay, item number 8, discuss, consider, and act regarding items to be placed on the next agenda.
Your next agenda will have your oath of office for reappointed and newly appointed board members, and also election of board officers. And that is October the 25th, I believe.
Okay, and I would like to propose a potential project for this particular board. I was in Roanoke not too long ago, and I noticed that they have published a neighborhood business directory of all of their businesses located in the city. And I think it might be beneficial if Hazlet had some kind of publication similar to this. They also have a publication, of course, they're known for the unique dining capital of Texas, where they just have restaurants listed. But I think maybe on our part, we'd probably want all types of businesses listed. So it's just something to look into on a future agenda item to see if it would be worthwhile to take on this project. Thank you.
Maurice, do you have anything that needs to go on the agenda?
Yes, I do. One of the things that Commissioner Kitty actually brought up our last meeting was look at the direction for the EDC, and we wanted to put that on there. But we really wanted not to do it this meeting. We wanted to wait till the board appointments and elections were over to do that. But that should be on the next board.
Very good. Anybody else? Moving on to agenda item 9, I adjourn this meeting at 6:37.
This conference is no longer being recorded.